Hey, this is Devin Coldewey from TechCrunch and Crunch Gear, and
Mike Butcher from TechCrunch Europe.
that's right, Europe. And so we just finished up the second. This was the second round. The second round of no, this is the first round. Boy,
Yeah.
they're just so exciting. I feel like there's been so many of them already.
Oh, goodness me.
Anyway, first round, second day. That's what I was getting confused.
Yes. Get back to it, mate.
Anyway, right. So so the first thing that we had was Tello. Now Tello was like it was like sort of tweet crossed with like it was like Twitter crossed with Yelp in a way, but like mainly for product review for like customer service reviews.
Yes. So in other words, people.
It's a terrible summary.
Quite clearly, people are complaining about things on the internet all the time. Oh my
heard,
God, something's
yeah.
wrong. But the issue here is how do you actually turn that into an impact on a business? You know, how do you come back to people? How do you sort of deal with all these complaints? And effectively, Tello is going to be a dashboard for managing all those incoming customer complaints, being able to respond to them, and obviously you take control of your business and you can take control of your brand and have the ability to respond back to customer complaints. Obvious, but I mean, this happens all the time on social media, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're providing something that may be valuable, but I just feel like it's already present in many ways in other social media, and people are already ready to use those. They already have methods in place for dealing with them, and they already have Facebook accounts with lots of friends that that they can easily get out to all their fans, or apologize if they mess something up. Like they already have their things in place for dealing with this kind of thing.
Yes,
I mean, it doesn't mean that there isn't room for innovation.
Oh no, I think so, and I think what Tello's hit upon is that you've got already many startups basically trying to do semantic analysis on is your brand being trashed on Twitter and things like that.
Right.
And that's tends to be used by marketing departments, social media managers and things like that. And look, DataSift that launched earlier yesterday.
That's some deep analytics right there.
Very deep analytics about what's going on with what are people saying on social media about you. On the other side of the fence, though, is this sort of customer complaint issue, which is much more sort of nuts and bolts issue for businesses to deal with. And I think that Tello may well find a niche there.
It certainly might. Yeah, I'm not a business, so I'm not their target market.
True.
But so we had something similar though with Gripe, except a little more on the user side for generating a sort of propagating complaint, sort of making a meme out of your bad meal. You got a fly in your soup. Tell everybody. Tell the world. Make it go out there. And
it's sort of crowdsourcing a tribe of pitchfork wielding complainers.
Like instant pitchforks.
Yeah. Instant pitchfork.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's great. I personally, if I found a fly in my soup, I would want to keep things private.
You remember how obviously people do this all the time when their flight's late or something. They create a little hashtag, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Virgin America sucks or something, hashtag or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and
there's obviously room for, like we said, there's obviously room for complaining on the internet.
Would you yourself go, oh, I'm not going to do a hashtag on Twitter, I'm going to go straight to my Gripe app and create a crowd of pitchfork wielding complainers?
I think that you'd probably end up doing both. Like, aren't you going to tell your friends as well as your leveraged social assets or whatever it was that huge number you had indicated?
Now, just remind us, was there an ability to, for an airline or whoever to monitor Gripe and go, oh, right, well, let me give you a free flight or let me come back to you with something?
To be honest, I missed whether there was a business side where they could officially mark things resolved. One of my issues, though, was that it requires all the pitchforks that you've just sort of, these hired pitchforks that you've gotten from your social friends. They have to follow up on their own to sort of find out whether it's been resolved. If they're getting behind you for this cause, it's fly in your soup or whatever. They're just are they actually committing to it, and then they have to check back in 5 months to see if it actually was solved. If they don't, then it's like, who cares whether 5 million people are backing me up if none of them really care and they're not even going to check that.
I know. One thing, though, that I think that was interesting about Gripe is this location-based aspect, because obviously they're leveraging the mobile phone, and so, in other words, you can suddenly see, and this does to some extent address this very big overarching theme of many companies and startups at the moment, which is local.
Yeah.
Is the local plumber any good? Is the carpenter any good? And I can, drill down right down to sort of 10-mile square radius, and get that sort of service ability to work out whether many of these sort of tradesmen and service people, are helping, are good, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there are already a lot of services in place to find a good plumber in your area, but I think that adding in this kind of maybe adding in this ability to centralize and standardize complaints and also cheers and stuff like that. I mean, obviously you can give something a good review and a plus and a minus, but having a local like that and having it location based also, I think it is a boost.
There is something like that. Although I wouldn't be concerned about how thin the information is, how deep the reviews are about businesses, etc.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice that you can attach a picture, and I doubt, maybe there's a character limit or something, but it seems you could get in there pretty deep with what needs to happen, because you can say, here's what happened, here's what it looked like, and here's what I would like to happen.
Exactly.
It seems like there's plenty of information.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. So what now, Sumazi? I'm not. It seems like there's a room for this, maybe, but I don't really trust the statistics she mentioned actually. The idea that there's only 4 meaningful relationships or whatever formed out of, on average on these social networks and stuff.
Seems a little restrictive.
It seems a little off. Like, I feel like there may be people who know how to and choose to leverage something like their LinkedIn profiles, and they're power users of it. They know the other people.
LinkedIn is used hugely by recruitment companies now.
Yeah.
And, people targeting people for jobs to find out where everyone's moving.
But I guess there might just be room for the people who aren't using it in that way, and who are more passive users of it and probably don't use their other social networks in that way. They don't say on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for a UX guy.
It's kind of like they're trying to create sort of a passive career advice platform, effectively.
Something like that, yeah. But I like the, I don't know, I think that it would actually be really cool at a conference like this, the mobile thing, because you know all these people, you're right around here, it's all kind of local, and you can be like, oh, well, I actually just met this guy that, would be really good for that. I think he's around here somewhere. I'll connect you guys and you can figure it out. And it's, obviously you could just say, here's his phone number. Yeah. But, this is it's a nice sort of official way. There's a record of it.
There's something in that. In fact, you should do that startup. But the fact is actually, when you're at a conference, it's very hard to, get all these business cards, go through them all. Typically, people do it all when they've left the conference, which is when everything's gone a bit cold. So it'd be better, in a way, if the platform could suggest to you things which you should be doing there and then, in a live situation. Yeah.
Well, there's something for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't follow the website part as closely. I thought that the mobile part was the compelling part to me.
I think the mobile part would be the more compelling aspect. But if it could, if it does what it says on the tin and creates a sort of a visual roadmap, as they call it, then there might be something in there. Although I don't know, there are a lot of people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is being used really in this manner already. So they really have to sort of pull it out of the bag.
Well, they really need to step
good.
themselves apart and say, like, LinkedIn is good, but it's not good for what we're doing. We're good at what we're doing.
Exactly.
I wonder if there's going to be a romantic application of this, where you're like, yeah, I've got someone who would be good for that.
I think that would get a lot of traction.
Yeah, there's probably something already, and they just leveraged it.
Exactly. Find somebody for you. Yeah.
So let's see, and we've got.
I think it's the app for you, sir.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make good use of that one.
A good one.
Smazzy.
Yes. Okay, what was up next?
The last one, actually the first one, was it the first one? The second one was Pinger.
Ah, Pinger,
and Pinger was, this is from an established, text-free, they know what they're doing.
They've got a lot
They know
of
how to give things
already.
away.
Exactly.
And now they're giving away phone minutes.
More free stuff from Pinger.
Oh yeah.
I think actually there's something in this, because I think they were quite clever by effectively asserting themselves into the iPod Touch, really, which is a huge market.
Oh yeah.
And effectively creating sort of free text messaging. Actually, I tried using it in its early days. It didn't work all that great, but obviously it's much improved lately. And now, obviously, now they've got this sort of brand leverage that they can basically now suggest to people, oh no, you can do voice minutes and use their SIP platform for voice calls.
I love the downloading an app and getting 10 minutes or something like that. That's brilliant. Like that kind of, I imagine that's also being used elsewhere. It's just like these minor rewards. I love these little micro rewards.
Yes.
Micro rewards. I just made that up.
You're a genius.
It's like micro transactions and stuff, but it's a micro reward. You're doing something that takes you 10 seconds. You're checking out an app. You're watching a short ad or something, and you get 10 minutes of talk time on your phone. Like, people will go, they'll do that all day.
There are obviously other startups doing voice calls over, things like the iPod Touch. There's
Sure.
Fring, there's Truephone in the UK, which is quite big, doing quite well, and they've done quite a lot. But the question is maybe because Ping has already got traction in text-based messaging, certainly much more used, I would say, here in North America than it is in Europe, potentially. But I think it's got legs.
Well, I think so too. And it's, I don't know, maybe it'd be like sort of it's like if you use it as like an augmentation for your normal phone minutes, where I mean these days we don't really have the sort of like night and any time. Like usually it's just minutes now, but it's kind of like if you know you're going to be having a long conversation, or you want to have a high quality conversation, or whatever the situation is. Like I like the idea of having the sort of HD quality audio. Yeah. Which we'll see how that really goes.
Do you think that they may have? I mean, because obviously there's Skype now, and I mean, how often are people going to use it on a mobile when they could quite easily make a Skype call? Yeah,
it's obviously they're up against pretty serious competitors here, so I really have no idea what people actually, like the actual usage rates of Skype and other VoIP and other sort of these data voice things and stuff like that. The actual usage rates are so hard to pin down, I feel, and you have to really take those in context of what those people do with the rest of their time and their regular phone and stuff like that. Like, I think there needs to be some serious studies done on the Skype versus phone interaction, rather than just like, boy, these people are using a lot of video calls on Skype, but how does that get affected when they buy an iPod Touch? And
it's also until recently it was also quite hard because many of these apps didn't run in the background, but obviously now that's been addressed to some extent. So. I think, what the heck, Ping, it's a relatively low cost-based capital outlay for them to create an already reasonably successful app that's leveraging onto creating another service on the top of it.
Yeah, and it's quite simple, isn't it? Really?
Yes,
I mean, they're just passing basic audio data stuff. They've got a very simple interaction with the minutes and everything like that. They can just go to somebody, and they have a really straightforward business proposition for App Store people who are making money off the App Store, Kayak and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just say, hey, here's our situation. They're going to get lots and lots of people, I feel, signing up for the giving away minutes thing. Oh,
exactly. I think so. Yes, and that actually becomes then a sort of a way to market yourself as well. And actually, it's really nice actually to see also quite a mobile-oriented startup at TechCrunch Disrupt. Often the web app world is pretty full, isn't it? But to see a company oriented towards mobile and really trying to crack a hard problem in the mobile market is exciting, I think.
Yeah. So, I think Pinger personally, that's my pick for this little group here.
Pinger's okay. You're going to take Pinger. I'm going to take, I think Tello. I'll take Tello.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll put some money on it later.
So, how are you getting on, Devin? Having a good conference?
Doing all right. Boy, we've got, I can't wait to, I'm putting together a great post on all the pictures. We've got these photographers. They're great photographers, and we haven't been able to leverage their stuff. I keep saying leverage, I don't know why. But they keep putting these great photos out of every single session. And but we've already put the post up, and we've already put a logo up. We've already put up one of my little snapshots that I had to take to make sure we had something. So I'm going to put together a great post of all the big pictures and stuff, all the best pictures they've taken of all our VIPs and stuff. And it's going to be great because they're such great pictures, and I really want people who aren't here to be able to see, like.
But of course, what we all really want to know is what's happening behind the scenes, the gossip, the parties.
Oh, the gossip.
Is there anything? Did you go to any parties last night?
Oh, well, we'll have to talk about this later.
Later?
We're out of here.
Oh, damn.